Good morning. I call to order the policy committee meeting on August 20th. All members are here. I need approval of the agenda.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, thank you. Next up is the approval of the June 18th open session minutes.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. 4-0. Next up, Mrs. Morris.
I'm sorry, my screen shifted. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We have 3 policies for second review. And then, as usual, I guess we'll do a motion at the end of all 3 and we'll go through them and see if y'all have any questions. Policy 2-12, insurance. This policy was reviewed in June with this committee and then with the board in July. As you know, we didn't have a July policy committee. So this is now coming for you again for review. There's been no stakeholder input since they've gone before the board. So staff is requesting that this be approved or go to the board for approval at the September meeting. The revisions to this policy were made to address other forms of liability coverage other than strictly insurance.
Any questions? I need a motion to send it to the board.
I'll make a motion to the full board and when our September meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is policy 215, school finance officer. Similarly, this was reviewed by the committee in June and the board in July. There's been no stakeholder input since that time, and staff requested this go for approval at the September meeting. The revisions to this policy were to conform our titles to the titles we use, and then address changes in State Board of Education policy.
A motion to go to the full board.
So move, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
The last one is a proposed new policy, prohibition against retaliation. This policy also was reviewed by the committee in June and the board in July. There's been no stakeholder input since that time, and staff would request that this policy go for approval at the September meeting.
Motion?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next up is policies for first review.
Yes, good morning. We have, 6 policies and administrative guidelines for first review. The first one is policy 3-04, communicable diseases for employees. These revisions are being recommended to address some legal requirements. It's been reviewed by our student support staff, including our lead nurses, and it's being recommended for review by the board at the September meeting.
The only change is 5 and 6.
Yes.
Correct. Yes. Any questions?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of chuckled when I saw that because, like, who wouldn't have had that? Who wouldn't have done that anyway?
I know.
You know.
Okay. So, no questions? Okay. Should we do it all together? Or
We can.
okay. Okay. So the next one.
The next one, I'm going to take policy.
Well, yeah,
3
Madam
dash-
Chair. I had a question on school safety, so we may want to do them individually.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So we're at 304 AG.
Okay. This is the exposure to bloodborne pathogens, and I'm going to talk about with AG 412 because they're the same. Well, they're combined. So what staff is recommending is that we delete 4-03 and move 4-12 to 3-04. So we're going to take 412, make it 304, and delete 412. This is being requested by our lead nurses. And 412 is actually what the appropriate guidance should be, as opposed to 3-04. And it really applies to employees and not students. That's why we're moving it to the employee chapter and deleting it from the student chapter, if that makes sense.
Okay,
And so we're
So we're
recommending that this go to the board for review at September, and I can answer any questions that may help.
so we're just deleting 304 AG,
Yeah.
right? Yep.
And moving the
No,
412 to 304.
No, we're getting rid of 4-12, right?
There will
No.
not be a 4-12 anymore, and we're going to
Okay, delete.
substitute 412 for 304.
Okay,
I know, it's a lot of movement.
yes. Okay. Next.
Okay.
is-
The next one is 3-23 substitute teachers. And the revisions to this are to address the fact that we now have the agency ESS helping us with this process. So those changes are to conform with that. It's been reviewed by both HR and finance, and staff is requesting that this go to the board for review at the September meeting.
Any questions?
Nope.
Nope. Okay,
Okay, the next one is alternative learning programs. 4-17 AG. These revisions are being recommended to comply with State Board of Education requirements. I've reviewed it with Mr. McGraw and the student support team. There is a typo, I apologize, in the first, the main of, I guess it's the second bullet, the first one's deleted. Superintendent is misspelled, and I will fix that. This is recommending to be reviewed by the board at the September meeting.
I have a question on this one all the way at the end, under the heading of appeals.
Yep.
It says within 3 business days, the parents, and the student have they have to make a decision. But then once the decision is made and it gets to the superintendent, they have 5 business days. Why can't they both just have 5 business days?
This is just consistent with our other appeals for student assignment, is parents have 3 days.
Is it also consistent that the school have 5 days?
The appeals and most transfers go directly to the board because the superintendent's made the decision. So the board, there's no time frame on that.
So there's no.
We can make it 3 days for the superintendent as well.
No, I like the 5 days because in some of the hearings, some of the folks would say they didn't get word, they didn't get this, and maybe those 2 additional days would put away some of that.
Okay, we can do that.
anything else?
No.
Okay, the last policy for first review is school safety. This policy was developed initially to address the threat assessment process that was introduced in law this past session, which is section D. And then as we were doing it, we decided to consolidate other expectations that we have in other policies and make a school safety policy. This has been reviewed by Mr. McGraw and the student support staff, and is being recommended for review by the board at the September meeting.
I like it.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No.
No?
Nope.
No? Okay. So then we have to, do we want them separate or all together? What do we want to do?
We have that
Send to the
additional
board.
amendment that change that I made, so you could do them all you know, with the amendment.
Okay, so if we want to change 3 to 5, are we going to do that the other appeals? I
I'll
don't
pull up
understand.
the other appeals and we'll look at that at an upcoming meeting. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second Jimmy's motion.
To change it to 5?
Yeah, do them all at once.
Okay, I want to know though if the other appeals are the same though.
Let me pull it up right now while we're talking. We made it 3 based on the others, I thought. So let me just go into active policies. Sorry, board docs is slow this morning.
It is slow, so I understand. It is. Thank God you said that. Now I know I wasn't the only one.
Oh, it's different because that's a student assignment issue. I apologize. We complied it with a different issue. Because these are a
Okay.
committee meeting and assigning it. The appeals on student assignment are 15 days.
Okay, so is it okay to do 5 days?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do that. Yes. Thank you for
Mhm.
looking it up. Okay, so so Gary, you made the motion, correct?
No, Jimmy made the motion. I made the second.
A second, all in favor?
All right.
All right.
Okay, for 5 days for policy 1517 AG. Okay, so I need a motion for policy 3-4.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Send to the board. Next up is policy 348 AG.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. Next up, a motion for policy 3-23.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. So do we have to motion to delete it, or what are we doing, Michelle, with it? A motion,
If you just send it to the board for review, then we'll fix it all after that meeting.
okay. So a motion for policy 4-12 AG.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. 4-0. We already did policy and the new policy, school safety.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, so next meeting of September 17 at 8 o'clock via Zoom. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.